Yo, what's up everybody, it's Gladstone, and we're back again with another video. This time we're diving deep into the world of smartphones. Are you making these costly mistakes when buying your next smartphone? Don't worry, we're here to save your wallet and your sanity. We're talking about the top 5 smartphone buying mistakes that could leave you with buyer's remorse. And trust me, number 1 will shock you. You know that feeling when you unbox a new phone, only to realize it doesn't live up to the hype. We've all been there. In today's video, we're breaking down these mistakes people make when buying smartphones. From number 5 mistake to the number 1 mistake, we'll guide you to make a smarter purchase. Stay tuned to learn how to avoid these pitfalls. Alright, let's kick things off with the 5th and probably the most common mistake: skipping the research. Look, I get it, seeing that shiny new phone on a billboard or plastered all over your social media can be super tempting. But trust me, diving headfirst without doing your homework is a recipe for disaster. Think about it. You wouldn't just buy the first car you see without checking its mileage, safety rating, or fuel efficiency, right? The same goes for smartphones. They're an investment, and not just a financial one. You're investing your time, your data, and your digital life into this device. So what happens when you skip the research? Well, you might end up overpaying for a phone that's not even that great. Retailers and carriers are always trying to push certain models, and those models might not be the best fit for you. They might be loaded with features you'll never use, or have a design that just doesn't vibe with your style. But the real kicker is that you might end up with a phone that doesn't even meet your basic needs. Maybe the camera is subpar, the battery life is trash, or the software is clunky and frustrating to use. This is where research comes in clutch. Take some time to compare specs, read reviews from trusted sources, and watch hands-on videos to see how the phone performs in real-world scenarios. Trust me, a little bit of research goes a long way. And here's a pro tip. If you can wait a few months after a phone's launch, you'll often find it at a lower price, and any early software bugs will likely be ironed out by then. And hey, while you're at it, don't sleep on refurbished or open box deals. You can often snag a premium phone at a fraction of the price. Just make sure you're buying from a reputable seller who offers a warranty. Alright, moving on to mistake number 4, and this one's a biggie, especially for all you power users out there. Overlooking battery life. We've all been there, that dreaded low battery notification popping up in the middle of the day, forcing you to scramble for a charger. It's like having a supercar with a tiny fuel tank. What's the point of all that power if you can't even enjoy it for a full day? It's frustrating, inconvenient, and can really put a damper on your plans. And let's be real, in today's always-on world, our smartphones are our lifelines. We rely on them for everything from communication and navigation to entertainment and productivity. They are our go-to devices for almost everything. So, skimping on battery life is a recipe for frustration. Imagine this, you're out and about, capturing memories, catching up with friends, or just trying to get some work done, and suddenly, your phone dies. It's like the world comes to a standstill. No more browsing, no more snapping, no more staying connected. Not cool, right? Now the good news is that smartphone manufacturers are finally starting to take battery life seriously. They're listening to our complaints and making improvements, but you still gotta be careful and know what to look for. The magic number you want to aim for is at least 4,000 mAh battery capacity. This is a good benchmark for most users. That should give you a full day of moderate use without breaking a sweat. But, if you're a heavy user, someone who's constantly on the go, streaming videos, playing games, or just can't seem to put their phone down, then you need to consider a higher capacity. Then you're going to want to bump that up to at least 5,000 mAh. Trust me, your sanity will thank you later. A larger battery means more freedom and less anxiety about finding a charging point. And here's another thing. Don't just focus on the battery capacity. Fast charging is equally important. Look for phones that support fast charging technologies. This can be a game changer in your daily routine. That way, even if you do find yourself running low on juice, you can quickly top up your battery and get back to doing what you love. It's all about minimizing downtime and maximizing usage. Pro tip, don't just blindly trust the manufacturer's battery life claims. Dig a little deeper, read real-world battery reviews, and see how the phone performs in actual use cases. User experiences can reveal a lot about true battery performance. Software optimization plays a huge role in battery life, so a phone with a slightly smaller battery but better software might actually outperform one with a larger battery but poorly optimized software. Always consider the whole package. Alright, let's talk about mistake number 3, compatibility, or rather, the lack of it. This mistake might not seem like a big deal at first, but trust me, it can lead to a world of headaches down the line. Ignoring compatibility can turn your tech experience from smooth sailing into a turbulent storm. Imagine this, you're rocking a sleek new phone, but it doesn't play nice with your other devices. Your smartwatch is from a different brand, your laptop runs on a different operating system, and suddenly, you're stuck in a tech ecosystem nightmare. It's like trying to get a band to play in harmony when each musician is following a different sheet of music. It's like trying to fit a square peg into a round hole. It just doesn't work. The frustration can be overwhelming, and it can make even the simplest tasks feel like monumental challenges. And let's be real, in today's interconnected world, our devices are meant to work together seamlessly. We expect our tech to be intuitive and cooperative, not a source of constant friction. We're talking about sharing files effortlessly, syncing notifications across devices, and having a unified experience across the board. This kind of seamless integration is what makes our digital lives easier and more efficient. But when you ignore compatibility, you're essentially creating unnecessary friction in your digital life. It's like adding extra steps to your daily routine that you could easily avoid. For example, let's say you're thinking of switching from an iPhone to an Android phone. It might seem like a straightforward decision, but there are hidden complexities. Sounds simple enough, right? But hold on a second, the transition isn't always as smooth as it appears. What about all your data in iCloud? What about AirDrop for quickly sharing files with other Apple devices? These features are designed to work within the Apple ecosystem and might not have direct equivalents in the Android world. These are just a few examples of how switching ecosystems can disrupt your workflow and create unnecessary hassle. The more invested you are in one ecosystem, the more challenging the switch can be. Now, I'm not saying you should be locked into one ecosystem forever. Flexibility is important, and sometimes change is necessary. But if you're heavily invested in a particular ecosystem, whether it's Apple, Google, or Samsung, it's worth considering the compatibility aspect before making the switch. This foresight can save you a lot of trouble. If you're deeply ingrained in the Apple ecosystem, sticking with an iPhone might make more sense. The benefits of seamless integration are hard to overlook. You'll have seamless integration with your AirPods, your MacBook, your Apple Watch, and all your data will flow effortlessly between devices. This kind of harmony can make your tech experience much more enjoyable. The same goes for other ecosystems. Each has its own set of advantages when all your devices are compatible. If you're a die-hard Android user with a Samsung tablet and a Wear OS smartwatch, sticking with a Samsung phone might be the more logical choice. The synergy between devices can significantly enhance your user experience. Now, if you are considering switching ecosystems, it's not the end of the world. There are ways to make the transition smoother. There are ways to ease the transition. You can look for apps or tools that help bridge the gap between different ecosystems. You can research these apps and tools, but it's an extra step you'll have to take, and it might not be a seamless experience. These tools can help, but they often come with their own set of limitations. So, before you hit that buy button, take a moment to consider your current tech ecosystem, and whether the new phone will play nice with your existing devices. A little bit of foresight can save you a lot of frustration in the long run. Let's be real. With mistake number 2, the tech industry thrives on hype. Every year there's a new buzzword, a new groundbreaking feature that promises to revolutionize the way we use our smartphones. Foldable screens, under-display cameras, 100 times zoom, you name it. And while some of these innovations are genuinely impressive, others are just marketing gimmicks designed to make you open your wallet wider. So, how do you separate the game changers from the gimmicks? It's simple. Don't fall for the hype. Don't let flashy marketing campaigns and catchy slogans cloud your judgment. Remember, just because a phone has a feature doesn't mean you actually need it. Take foldable phones for example. Yeah, they look cool, and the technology is pretty mind-blowing. But are they practical for everyday use? Do you really need a phone that unfolds into a mini tablet? Or are you better off with a traditional smartphone that's more pocketable and durable? The same goes for crazy high-resolution cameras or ultra-zoom lenses. Sure, they sound impressive on paper, but how often are you actually going to use them? Are you a professional photographer who needs that level of zoom? Or are you just going to end up with a bunch of blurry, shaky photos because the zoom is too powerful to handle? Instead of getting caught up in the hype cycle, take a step back and ask yourself, do I really need this feature? Will it actually improve my smartphone experience? Or am I just being swayed by marketing? Remember, the latest and greatest doesn't always translate to the best value. Sometimes last year's flagship phone, the one that's no longer the center of attention, offers a better balance of features, performance, and price. And here's a little secret, those older flagship phones often get significant price drops once the newer models hit the market, so you can snag yourself a premium smartphone experience without breaking the bank. So next time you're tempted by a shiny new feature, take a deep breath, resist the urge to pre-order, and do your homework. Watch reviews, compare specs, and evaluate if those hyped-up features are truly useful for your daily needs. Last but definitely not least, let's talk about the big one, the mistake that can have a lasting impact on your finances, blowing your budget. This is a common pitfall that many people fall into, especially when it comes to buying new tech. Look, smartphones aren't getting any cheaper. In fact, they seem to be getting more expensive every year. The latest models come with hefty price tags that can easily make a dent in your wallet. And with so many tempting models and features, it's easy to get caught up in the excitement and overspend on a phone that's way beyond your means. The allure of having the latest and greatest can be hard to resist. But here's the thing, you don't need to spend a fortune to get a great smartphone experience. There are plenty of options that offer excellent performance without the premium price tag. In fact, the mid-range smartphone market has exploded in recent years, offering incredible value for money. These phones are packed with features that were once exclusive to high-end models. We're talking about phones with flagship-level features, impressive cameras, smooth performance, and long-lasting batteries, all at a fraction of the cost of premium flagships. You'd be surprised at what you can get for your money. So before you even start browsing for a new phone, do yourself a favor and set a clear budget. This will help you avoid the temptation of overspending. How much are you comfortable spending on a new smartphone? Think about your financial situation and set a realistic limit. Once you have that number in mind, stick to it. Discipline is key when it comes to managing your finances. Don't be tempted by those incremental upgrades or special financing offers that seem too good to be true. They can often lead to spending more than you initially planned. Because trust me, they often are. These deals can come with hidden costs and long-term commitments that aren't worth it. Now, I know what you're thinking. But Mark, don't I have to sacrifice features if I go for a mid-range phone? It's a common concern, but let's address it. And the answer is, not necessarily. Many mid-range phones offer features that are more than sufficient for everyday use. The gap between mid-range and flagship phones has narrowed significantly. You can find phones that offer a great balance of performance and price. You can find phones in the $400 to $500 range that offer excellent cameras, fast processors, smooth displays, and long battery life. These phones are more than capable of handling most tasks. They might not have all the bells and whistles of a $1,000 plus flagship, but they'll get the job done without breaking the bank. It's all about finding the right balance. And here's a pro tip. Consider buying a slightly older flagship model. These phones often offer great value once the newer models are released. Remember what we talked about earlier? Older flagship models can be a smart choice. Those phones often get significant price drops once the newer models are released. This can be a great way to get premium features at a lower cost. So, you can snag a phone with premium specs and features at a more palatable price. It's a win-win situation. The bottom line is this. Don't let the pressure of having the latest and greatest tech lead you to make a financial decision you'll regret later. It's important to stay within your means, set a budget, do your research, and prioritize the features that matter most to you. This way you can make a smart purchase that you'll be happy with in the long run. So there you have it, folks. Those are the top 5 smartphone buying mistakes you need to avoid. Here's a quick recap. Ignoring your budget, falling for the hype, overlooking compatibility, neglecting battery life, and skipping research. Avoid these pitfalls, and you'll be well on your way to making a smarter purchase. Did you find these tips helpful? Smash that like button and share this video with your friends. Help them avoid these common mistakes and make smarter choices when buying their next smartphones. Because remember, an informed consumer is a happy consumer. Don't forget to subscribe to Consumer's Choice Top 5 for more rankings and reviews like this. We're dedicated to helping you make smarter choices every time. Now, let's turn it over to you. What's the biggest mistake you've made when buying a smartphone? Share your story in the comments below. Let's learn from each other.